It's Living a Healthy Lifestyle Show with your favorite holistic health coach, Carrie K.
Hey everybody, welcome to Living a Healthy Lifestyle Show with your favorite holistic health coach, Carrie K. I have Cheryl Diamond Murray on today. She's a two-time Olympic trials gymnast, a four-time All-American gymnast. She's coached and owned her own private gymnastics school for 25 years, coached 25 women to gymnastics scholarships. She's a lifestyle fitness coaching and a soul center healing hypnosis certificate that she has. We're going to talk a little bit today also about her story on the power of the patch. And I'd like to welcome Cheryl to the show today.
Well, thank you, Carrie. Great introduction. I'm so happy to be here to talk to everybody.
Oh, great, Cheryl. Well, so tell me, how did your childhood get your future going with all this? I mean, because it always starts in our childhood, right? We have this dream, we have these goals, and yours started out with gymnastics. So tell us a little bit about that.
That is so true about the childhood, isn't it? It will shape your life really quickly. But I was one of seven children, so I had a very large family, and my dad wasn't very, let's say, we ate from cans and white labels. We just didn't have very much. And so what happened was I was in gym class and the end of my eighth grade, my gym teacher said, "You know what? You do really good cartwheels. You should try out for the gymnastics team." And I'm like, "What's that?" And she goes, "Take the bus after school and go down to the high school and try out for the gymnastics team." So I did, and I made the team. But the incredible part about it is this is where you feel that you've done this before. Like this must have been a past life or something, because I learned so fast that a year and a half later, I was in my first Olympic trials. That's how
Wow.
fast I learned. And my coach was like, couldn't keep up with me. And I'm like, this just seems so natural. It's just, everything just came. And she would send me to parts of the state in order to get trained by other people because she couldn't keep up with me. And so that was the savior in my life, to be honest with you, because with seven kids, I was so bad. I was so bad in school. I got paddled in homeroom. I was just so active and I didn't know what to do with it. You know how kids are. And once I found gymnastics, it gave me a direction. And and I put all my energy into that and it showed. I made it to two Olympic trials. I scholarship to college and it totally changed my life.
Wow, wow, wow. And you were one of seven
Hmm.
children, so that was kind of difficult to come up with food.
Oh yeah.
The Brady Bunch back in those days was difficult. So,
Oh yeah,
um,
that's true. And you know what, Carrie? We had a one bedroom, and on the attic, my dad put seven beds, like the seven dwarfs. We were all up in the attic, all together.
brothers and sisters, I assume.
Yep,
Uh,
one bathroom.
oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. Grateful to where I am today.
I bet you are.
Yeah,
So
funny.
what prompted your spiritual journey?
I read a book when I was past college, when I was coaching gymnastics. It's a journey too, right? But when I first started my first network marketing company, it that's more of a spiritual journey because you awaken to your weaknesses, you awaken to what you're afraid of because it forces you, right, to get out of your comfort zone. And so the first book I read that started my spiritual journey was Conversations with God and Uncommon Dialogue. And it totally opened my mind. And I'm like, oh, wow, I can have a conversation with God. Me, just me, little me. And so that really started my spiritual journey and it took off from there. I just could not get enough.
That is amazing. I know a lot of people have talked about their spiritual journey, the way God leads them into, the way He led you into gymnastics,
Hmm.
the way He led you into all the things that you've done.
Yeah.
So, now, when did you get a hold of the power of the patch? When did you find out about how did your journey all start out with that?
With LifeWave. It's funny because when I first read Conversations with God, it was probably 20 years ago when I first read it. And that was, like I said, with my first networking company. And so I loved networking because as a gymnast, and especially at the higher levels, you have to go out of your comfort zone to learn a new trick. I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere unless I was a little afraid of that double back or that skill that I'm trying to learn. And in life or in networking, you do that. You're forced to do that, you know? And so I joined a lot of networking companies, and because
Mhm.
first of all, I loved all the products. They're high quality. I didn't have to worry about pharmaceutical crap being in them. So I was looking for something. I'd go to a networking company first to find out if I want their product. So I did a lot of them. Um, Went to a lot of the higher levels, brought in a ton of people. And so sometimes you get burnt out, right? And then
Mhm.
I came across these LifeWave patches through a radio talk show host that I was listening to for like 2 or 3 years. And he said, hey, if you guys want to activate your stem cells, DM me and I'll send you some information. And I'm like, who wouldn't want to activate their stem cells? Of course, I want to activate my stem cells. And I had to bother him for 3 weeks. Hey, Ken, give me information. What are you doing? Send me an application. I want to get my cells activated. Finally, I got enrolled. And as soon as I got enrolled, I knew this was the company. This is the perfect company. The product is perfect. I don't have to worry about somebody not being adhering to it or having any reaction to it because your body does the total diagnosis. I don't do anything but tell them that their body's powerful, right? We all
Amen.
have that ability to heal. And once I started really learning about LifeWave, it just started to become part of me, but it became in me when I found out how the founder and the creator of the patches was. He's so
Mm.
God driven. He is so connected and he is so for humanity. And these are all the values that I have. So I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody at that level has the same values I do. So I realized that it just trickled all the way down through the whole company. That's how everybody in LifeWave is. We are about humanity, and I've never quit since. And the journey, the health journey, is such an amazing journey for people too.
Great. Well, tell us a little bit about your health journey. Was there anything going on when you were on the patches? Or did you just want vitality and energy and sleep and all the things that it does offer you when you are healing your own body?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was a trainer. I was gymming. I was working out. I was very active. And to me, all I wanted to do was get on a plan that was going to make me younger and have quality of life as I get older rather than the old paradigm of getting frail and old, right? I
Mm.
didn't like that paradigm. I wanted to do a different paradigm. So that's why I got on the patches, is to help me stay younger. But here's a great story. I'll try and tell it as quickly as I can because this is interesting. My husband was, of course, the opposite. We are like opposites. I don't know how we're still together, but we are. He's the
Oppo-
exact opposite of me.
Opposites attract.
That's right. Oh my God, is that not true? And so I forced him to patch every day, right? And so he's like, Cheryl, it's been 2 months. I feel nothing. Why are you making me patch? These are expensive. This is that. I'm like, listen, I know the science. I know you haven't read anything about it and what it does, but I know. I said, this is my life insurance policy and I want to make it yours. And he's like, so he reluctantly every day wore them. 11 months later, took him 11 months, his belly blew up one day. And I'm connected. I do readings and stuff. And I said, Source, what's going on? What's the issue here? And it said, he has a blockage, it's encapsulated, but the stem cells are doing their job. And I'm like, on, okay, whatever that means, I'm going to take that information. We went right to emergency. His belly was about ready to explode. They said we had to have emergency surgery. He has a huge blockage in his colon. And so they took him into surgery, 13 and a half inches of his colon taken out with the blockage. And he was cut all the way through, right? So he came back to the room probably about midnight. And as soon as he got back, I patched him. I had X39, glutathione, Aeon, and carnosine right in the diamond around his scar. And the doctors would come in and say, "What are those?" I said, "Those are phototherapy patches. There's nothing on them. You can't take them off." He's like, "Okay." Well, that was late Wednesday night, like I said. Saturday, he was totally healed. Saturday.
Wow.
The doctors came in and go, What? He said, my arthroscopic people don't heal like that. What did you do? I said, those phototherapy patches. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, they must have really helped. Okay, discharged, right? And me and my husband are like going, okay. So 2 weeks later, we go back to the doctor and he said, you two sit down for a second. He goes, I've never seen anything like this. And we're like, what? And he goes, it was a blockage, but it was totally encapsulated. Something compressed it to a tight ball and no cancer was anywhere else. He says, you are totally
Wow.
cancer free. And my husband looked at me and he goes, okay, I'll never get off those patches. I was like, whew, it took you long enough.
Well, we do want to say that it doesn't heal, treat, or cure anything, but what an amazing story that is. That the body is just healing itself and how God relayed to you through you reading,
His energy and
yeah, you knew that there was something going on with your husband.
yeah.
That is in itself is the way that the Lord works. He works in mysterious ways, and he kept on showing you things. And wow. And then
Yeah.
the doctors could have said, oh well, we're not gonna let them use that, because we've had other situations where they're like, no, they can't wear that. And we've helped
Hmm.
other people where doctors are misunderstood and they're like, oh no, you can't wear that. Why? There's nothing
Hmm.
in it that's non-transdermal. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you know about the science of it.
Yeah. And I think that was the biggest thing that they couldn't argue. Because I said it's non-transdermal. There's nothing on the patch other than a frequency. Do you know what a frequency does? And because they didn't know the answer to that, they couldn't dispute it. See? So I said it's
Oh,
a frequency patch. And so do you know about frequency and what it does to the body? Okay, since there's nothing on it, you can use it. See? That's how it ended up. And I think it's most people have to understand that your God-given innate abilities are there. It's just like you got to put fuel in a car to go. You got to open up the peptide to let those manufacturers go in your body to create those healing centers. They got to open up. You got to give it what it takes for them to run. And if you don't
yeah.
do that, they don't open up, you don't heal.
Wow. So what are you looking forward to in the future with this that you because you're doing so much.
Yeah.
You're teaching people how to relax, how to get within themselves, how to get connected with God, and how to, understand what's going on in their life and their health and everything.
Hmm.
Wow, it's just so
Yeah.
amazing where we're headed in the future with
Oh,
that.
no kidding, Carrie. It's so cool because this is the only company that I feel could take me to the future too. This is the only company that is financially setting me free because I have taken my husband. Okay, my husband travels a lot for his business, and he's taken me everywhere from Africa to New Zealand. I mean, everywhere, right? So the first trip that I qualified for LifeWave, he said to me, he goes, "Who's paying for it?" I said, "LifeWave." He says, "How much do we have to pay?" I said, "Nothing." He goes, "What about the airlines?" I said, "They're paid for." He's like, "What?" I said, "Yes. So this trip, you're my eye candy." And he's like, "Oh, I kind of like that." And so now we're going on our third trip that I qualified for with LifeWave that I've never done in any other company before. So
Wow.
financially, it's setting not only us free, but so many other people across the world, to be honest.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about David real quick before we end the show. Have you had a chance to really get dig in and find out who he is? And he loves the
Yeah.
Lord with all his heart. It's just so amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of like, yes, when you meet him, you know he's something special. You know, you feel it. You know how when you walk in a room sometimes and you feel the heaviness and you're like, oh, something's going on in here. I don't want to be here, right? You
Hmm.
feel when it's the electricity's not right and you feel depressed and upset. Well, in the presence of him, you just kind of elevate, you just lift. And walking, speaking to him, shaking his hand is even more powerful because you begin to realize how powerful you are.
Mm.
It's a transfer. It's like really amazing. And I think that's what each one of us are doing to all of each one of us, right? So as you bring somebody into LifeWave and teach them their power, you elevate them, and we all elevate the whole consciousness of humanity. And I think that's what David is here to do, to elevate
Amen.
humanity, right? And because he's so grounded, he's such a genuine, authentic person. And you know that when you meet somebody, it's kind of like, oh, wow, he is who he is. He doesn't pretend to be anybody else. You know that
And he
that's who
doesn't
he is.
sugarcoat anything either. So when
Yeah.
I was at my very first conference, I was saying, I hope I run into David. I hope I run into David. Well, I was on the elevator, and when the elevator opened, there was David. I was like,
Oh,
yes, thank you. And I'll
that
interview
was,
him someday on Living a Healthy Lifestyle show. So
oh, that would be amazing.
yeah. So anything that you would like to share in in the last few minutes that we have with our audience, our viewers about if they're nervous about trying something that they've never used before, if they've been using Western medicine and it has just totally failed them and they don't
Mm.
know what else to do, what would you say to that person that is really looking at this technology and saying, I wonder if that really, really works and if it would really work for me through your experiences. What would you say?
Well, the first thing I would say to them, where are you going to put your investment, in the pharmaceutical company or your own body? Right?
Mm,
So, am I going to take what money I have, even if I take a cup of coffee a day, to put into a policy or insurance thing that gives me my power back? You have everything to gain and absolutely nothing to lose. And so what's going to happen is you're going to start to understand your power, and you got to get it back. You've got to get your innate ability back. But I think most people have to understand that this is a compounding long-term thing. You don't take it for a month and expect all these miracles. God's giving you something that's going to help you reverse things gradually, because it took you maybe 60 years to get here. And if at 60 years your blood sugar's high, you've gained weight, you have knee issues, back issues, whatever issues you're having, they're not going to just magically go away by putting a patch on you. But that
mm,
patch on you is going to magically give you the power, as long as you just stay with it and give your body some time. We all want more time. And I think in life, most people, when they're kind of like at the end of their time, they say, if you have any regrets, well, I would take more chances, number one. And number two, they'd like to have more time. And that's what this patch does. It gives you time.
mm.
I wish I could explain that to people, and so they would stay on the patch. I will be buried in mine. My husband's like, "What patches do you want on you when we bury you?" And I'm like, "I want these two, and I want the energy." You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Because it literally will change your physical body. It really, literally does. But you have to give it time.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I love that. I know that I've been on it for 4 years. My anniversary is coming up in March.
Nice.
And I was hit by a school bus and they found a mass. So that was the way that God communicated to me, because if I wouldn't have been hit by that bus, they
Mhm.
never would have found the mass and I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now.
Wow, isn't that crazy?
That's my story. Yeah. So we all have this beautiful story of how the divine, he just woos us and shows us things and gives us messages. And but we have to be connected
Yes.
every day. It's like we need to be plugged into our family when we're
Yes.
plugged into LifeWave. It's like we need to be plugged into that so we can continue to learn and grow. It's the
Mhm.
same thing. We need to be plugged into God too. So I really appreciate all your information today. Throw out your information to people if people have questions or they want to check you out. Anything that you want to send out there to the viewers today, your information.
Yeah, I mean, LifeWave will change your life. You've just got to decide if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And
Right.
whether you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, or you're sick and tired of being no money, no time, no freedom, it doesn't matter. Make that choice and join our crusade. To me, this is kind of like a crusade. We
Mm-hmm.
are waking up so many people across the world. Like, my biggest groups are all Europe, Asia, UK, Estonia. I have people all over the world
Oh,
that
you're so
wake,
blessed.
right? It's like we're waking up people, which it's kind of like cool. It's like when I woke up my granddaughter this morning, I shook her and I said, "Honey, sunshine." She goes, "Oh, thank you, Ma. I'm happy." And I'm like, that's why I want to make people feel just
Right.
awake and happy,
Awake and
have
happy.
joy. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, we look forward to maybe doing some series with you in the future so
Hmm.
that you can really walk down that with people, because a lot of people are going through a lot of different situations right now in their life, and we look forward to you being able to help them. So, thank you so much for being on Living a Healthy Lifestyle show today. We
Yeah.
really appreciate you. Thank you to all of our viewers, how we learn about something that is amazing that will heal the body inside and out.
Mhm.
But it's just doing what the body is supposed to do, and it's helping that process right along. So
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Take care. God bless. Until next time on Living Healthy Lifestyle Show. This is your favorite holistic health coach, Carrie K. God bless.
Bye, everybody.
About a real handsome man.
Oh, where is he?